Okay, moving on, we got Orcl here. Very, very bullish, way above this moving average. Has been since the end of October, so it's crazy. It's almost been a year. Very, very bullish. Did gap here back in the start of June, and looks to be kind of filling that gap. This has had a huge run. You can see hasn't pulled back at all. So very good chance this does pull back to about 94 bucks, between 102 and 94. Could definitely see happening. Appears like it's doing it already. You had this huge bull month in June, and then last month printed almost like a little doji candle. So you can see the indecision in the market. Now this month has started pulling back quite a bit so far. The first week of the month has been, all bears kind of thing. So I could see Orcl just coming down for a while here. Looking at this monthly, I don't know, is this at this might be at an all-time high, yeah. So again, anytime something's at an all-time high, you really have to expect that it's not going to keep going. And because there hasn't been a pullback since October, like every single month has been crazy, eventually the market has to decide, like, is this fair price? What is fair price of Orcl? Because we haven't seen for months, we haven't seen it go down. We haven't seen it get bought up at any bottom. So very fair the price keeps moving down on Orcl for a bit. So let's figure out what it usually moves in a month. So last month was about $8. This thing's telling me it moves about 11. The month before, this big month, was 22, 12. So I think $10 is definitely reasonable. So we'll figure that our high for the month is about 118. And that means our low will be, like, we figured that it moves roughly 10, 11, 9. Yeah, we'll say 11 bucks. So that'll be 107. This is your normal monthly range, which would fill this gap, which actually makes sense. And you can see that, like, price has this area here it's gonna have to break, but once it breaks this area, I mean, it's probably going to go down to 107 because it's going to try to fill this gap most likely. So I'm looking for a short position on Orcl for now. I don't know if I would actually take a short position, but I'm saying trading wise, you'd be more inclined to take a short position than a buy. There's too much bearish momentum in the market. You can see price came down, higher lows. Now I think it's continuing to make that. I think once it breaks this area, it's just going to keep going. So I don't see any buys on this for probably this entire month. I think it's just a pullback month. I wouldn't look to buy it until I've seen significant support in the market. This daily moving average catching up a bit. Let's see, is it above on the 4? Yeah, it's still above on the 4. I want to see price touch this 4-hour moving average and get supported before I take any buys on Orcl. You can see if we go on the weekly, I mean, the only area that I would even consider without price even coming down to it, like, price would have to come down to this area before I even consider buying it. Between 102 and 107. This was the previous highs for this weekly segment back here, back in the end of November, like November 2021. So I would need price to come back and test this area again before I even considered buying it. I just think it's, and it makes sense because that's probably when this daily moving average would catch up. And so I would look for a buy position, but it would be way down here. And then I would just target, the monthly range or whatever. And maybe this is like a next month trade. Maybe, maybe it looks something like this. That's probably what I would do. And then I would target, your monthly range for next month. So this might be September's trade. As far as if you're going to buy it, I'd probably wait till next month. I think it's going to keep continuing down. However, if you want to short this, if you are a counter trend trader or you're not looking to buy long term or anything, you just want to short this, make some quick money if possible, then I think your 118 is your ideal zone. It's gonna have to come back up to this area. If you wanted to force something a little bit more, so a little bit more high risk, but does actually look appealing, to be honest, your zone is right here. You can see that if you tighten these up a little bit, you can see price came down, rejected this, came back up, still rejected this wick, and then even this big one here came down, got pulled back again. But finally, these 2 weeks now shows that price is closing below, 115, 115.34 kind of thing. So based on this little area here, I would honestly say this is a good place to short from if you're going to. And then, if you wanted to short it down to 107, like this is your play here. I do think this is significant, this area. It showed a lot of history recently between all these daily candles staying above it and then finally breaking below, and then these last 2 days just, closing below this area, printing these nice wicks through the area. So I think that is significant. I think your trade would look something like this. So, enter at, 115 maybe if you can get in there. At 115, between 115 and 115.50. If you can get in on that, short that trade, set your stops a little bit above this, above these previous wicks here. And then I think you're good to go all the way to 107. And then we would look for a buy position there. So once that happens, so like this is literally what it would break down to from a technical standpoint. You short this from 115 down to 107, and then we would consider a buy back up to here next month kind of thing. So it would look something like this for Orcl from a technical standpoint. Forbes does think it's one of the best companies to invest in for 2023 regarding AI and technology, which probably is, and I agree with that. Orcl is a massive company, and I don't think they're going anywhere, and I think they're just going to acquire more stuff. I think there's going to be a handful of tech companies that just acquire everything and just dominate the space. So, and I think Orcl is one of them. But from a technical standpoint, I don't see this going up for a while, so I would just short it down to 107 and then look for a buy around that price if price action tells you that it's a good idea. So that is Orcl.